Football season's underway, of course. Michigan State, a bad loss last week, Chronic. Now you got the Buckeyes coming in this week. That is not a get-well recipe by any stretch of the imagination.
No, this is a pretty unenviable position for Indiana football right now. Yet again, a ranked opponent that, Indiana was good enough to beat. At the same time, not good enough to put enough points on the board to win the game. It's become a recurring theme so far, at least against half of the ranked opponents they've played. It's just unfortunate on a whole lot of different levels. I don't know that there's enough bodies left in the locker room or enough runway left on the schedule. But they painted themselves into a corner here, and bringing Ohio State in to Memorial Stadium for a primetime game probably isn't the recipe to get back on track. But I know that's probably not the sentiment in the locker room right now. This is a team that I think is capable of startling the Buckeyes. We've seen it time and time again so far, at least against Michigan State, at least against Cincinnati. It's really unfortunate they can't get the offense up just a couple ticks higher to be on par with the defense, because the defense is playing well enough to win ball games right now. Unfortunately, they can't score the football at a rate that the offense needs in order to overcome some of the deficiencies. So you got to sense there's a little frustration in yesterday's press conference. They were certainly pragmatic about what's happening, why it's happening. They're just not executing. At the end of the day, though, it's the responsibility of the staff to get the team in the position to win. A matter of play calls and training and the conditioning that leads up to those calls being made. It ain't there yet, so we'll see. We've talked for years. Indiana's due. At some point, they're due for the Buckeyes. We saw it with the Wolverines last year. We saw it with the Nittany Lions last year. I don't know that this year is going to be the year, but fortunately, a lot of fans are still excited to get back to the Rock this weekend. Going to be another sold-out crowd under the lights. So we'll see what the future holds. But Indiana football is certainly running out of time to get themselves in position to be back in the bowl this year.
You ain't lying, Sam. Sam says, sadly, we're not 18 anymore. Well, doesn't matter, baby. It doesn't stop me. I'm going to be an idiot. No, but yeah, you're right, man. And it just you were waiting on just something, because they just needed this little bit, Kevin. And it wasn't like they needed a lot. They just needed a little something from the offense, some sustained drives that end up in a touchdown, and they get to the red zone, and I don't know what happens if it's the play calling at that point. We keep hearing the word execution. It wasn't properly executed. Why? These are the same players that were back from last year. This is 6 weeks into the season. Why are you not executing? That's not a valid excuse. And I don't understand what they've scored one touchdown against 3 Big Ten opponents. And this offense is much better than that.
You say the same players, but there are a few players that are different. I mean, Stevie Scott was a good goal line back. He had a nose for the end zone. You're missing that a little bit. Stephen Carr did score the touchdown on that option pitch play, but no Whop Fillier, and you lose DJ Matthews, so you don't have that speed threat right now on the field that you had last year with Fillier and with Matthews early this year. So I think there are some subtle differences that are really hurting offensively compared to last year, but you still do have Ty Freifogel back. The offensive line should be better and is not better. That's been the biggest disappointment of this team. The duress, the fact that Jack Tuttle and Mike Penix have been under duress a lot more this season than they were last season has played a role. And the inability to consistently open holes in the run game, although the run game was a little better, I thought, against Michigan State. They did do some good things, and Childers and Poindexter actually came in, and they had popped a couple of big runs in the first half, did a nice job there. But consistently, the consistency of it, the screen passes to nowhere that we've talked about, that I asked Nick Sheridan about, those 1 or 2 yard screens that aren't, really generating much, those are wasted plays.
Forrest asked, "Who do you all believe is the most experienced and qualified to call offensive plays for, but not by title, but qualification?" Of course, the first name's gonna come out of your mouth is Delon McCullough because he was the running backs coach at Kansas City, so he spent that time under that pro offense. Has been at UC or USC, so he's got a great foundation. And I would sure think that, but he was not. I don't know that he knew the offense well enough because he came in later to be in that position. Maybe so. I don't know, but something has got to change because it's just not working right now, what they're doing, whether it's play calling or execution or both. You can call whatever play you want, but if they don't execute, it's not going to work. And then that's why are they not executing? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. None of us do. We just all guessing. So I don't know what they do from here to change.
I think Kevin's got his finger on it when you're pointing at the O-line right now. It's really difficult, no matter who's in the backfield, to execute when you've got guys in your face almost the entire time you're in the pocket. That was probably the biggest thing that happened to IU football from Kevin Wilson on was, fielding a team that looked like it was a Big Ten offensive line. This is a game that's, we make a lot about it, but it's pretty simple at the end of the day. You got to move the ball downfield. And if passing is going to be part of that, your quarterback's got to have time to throw the football. He's got time to make his reads, and he's got to have passing lanes available to him. And at the end of the day, it's hard to look at the IU's offensive line and not see a pretty marked regression over the last several seasons in their ability to keep the quarterback clean and their ability to advance the ball downfield. And I don't know that it's something easily fixable at this point in the season, but at the end of the day, it's going to be really difficult to score more points, to win more games, if the offensive line can't find a way to be a little more effective in protecting the quarterback and opening up some running lanes and moving the football down the field.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You're talking about an offensive line that the last few years, produced NFL guys. Wes Martin, Stepaniak, Kreider's on a practice squad, right?
Spriggs.
It's great. I mean, who is an NFL offensive lineman on this team right now?
Right, and that's the thing. You look at the running backs IU put in the league. It's directly correlated to the number of the linemen IU put in the league.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that pave the way for everybody else to succeed. And with the failures they're experiencing up front, you're going to see systemic failures across the board resulting from that.